Finally. Hi everybody, my name is Mattias and today we are checking out the Vital synth. Vital is a spectral warping wavetable synth similar to Serum. It has tons of great sounding oscillators with wavetable support. You can import your own samples to create wavetables. It has oscillator effects and you have a very nice effect section which is crucial for great sound design. So is Vital the new Serum killer? Let's find out. Right, so this is the Vital synth, and this is the first screen that we meet when we open up the plugin, so this is the voice section. Then we of course have the effect page, the matrix page, which shows all the modulation set up in the instrument, and the advanced page where we can set note tracking, iris, wavetable. And we also have the Unison settings in this page. And you can control oversampling, round robin, tuning, and oscilloscope. But before we continue and talk about the functionality of the plugin, I'd like to show a few patches, because I already made a few patches for Vital. And these patches will be available if you click in the link in the description, if you want to download these patches. Let's begin by listening to Neptune. And we have some bells. A hard lead. Yeah, so if you want to download these patches, you can click the link in the description to this video. Right, so let's continue and talk about the user interface in Vital. We can just initialize the preset here and look at the first screen, the voice section here. Here we have the oscillator section. We have currently one oscillator activated. If we click the name here, we get to select between different wavetables. So let's look at 3 graces here and close this down. And now we can scan through this wavetable through the different 256 frames. And similar to Zebra and Serum, you also have oscillator effects. So we can go ahead here and look at harmonic stretch. And here we have the Unison setting. Let's throw some effects on that. A little bit of OTT compression, similar to OTT. There's a few wavetables in this in the free version of Vital, but if you want more wavetables, you can of course import your own samples and convert them to wavetables, or buy the more potent version of Vital, which includes up to 400 wavetables, I think. So let's select another one here, harmonic series. Let's get rid of that oscillator effect. Right, so let's go to the basic shapes here and select maybe a sawtooth. Then we can go ahead and add the random amplitudes. It's actually quite simple to create a bell sound with the oscillator effect, the random amp here. We can just throw an envelope on this one. Drag down the sustain, a little bit of decay. And drag down the sustain here. So now we have a mallet kind of instrument already. With just a simple wavetable at a single position and also this oscillator effect. It's actually a very nice reverb in the plugin too, so that's very nice. Let's go back to the voice section here. We also have the possibility to play samples, and here you can load the custom samples or use any of the onboard samples. Let's try this jackhammer. Of course, we can also key track, so the sample pitch will follow the keys on the keyboard here. So that's very nice if you want to add organic grit to your synthesized sounds. Let's add a second oscillator here and look at maybe a triangle. So let's see if we can go to the basic shapes and select the triangle. So now we instantly have a more body to the sound. Let's add a third oscillator, also with the basic shapes and a triangle, I think. And add it 7 semitones up. Right, so let's listen to the chorus in this plugin. So a chorus is a really nice effect if you want to add a bigger sound, more voices to your sound without adding actual unison voices. So we can actually add a chorus effect instead. Right, so we're just experimenting here, and you can already see that we have some really nice sounds that we can add some controls to. So now we can use the macros here to the left side, maybe add a macro to control the feedback here, because I really like that it introduced a little bit of decay to the sound. So we can just drag this to our feedback knob here and control the amount here, or control it already at the parameter. So now I can attach this to my controller here. Just right click and learn MIDI assignment. And wiggle that knob Yeah, so that's a fine little sound. Let's save this sound. Quirk bell. And it's a key sound. Bell. With macro. Right, so this sound will also be available for download in the little Vital pack to this video. Right, so that's a little bit about the oscillators here. And of course we can look at the filter. Let's filter this whole harangue of different oscillators and sampler. Activate the filter here. And we can control which of our elements here will go through the filter. You can see down here we have selected filter for oscillator 1. Oscillator 2 is also going through the filter. Oscillator 3 is going directly to the effects, and the same thing for the sampler. So if we select filter 1 for these two, actually this one should be filter 1 too. So now we're sending all these oscillators and the sampler through the filter. Let's send these two to the effect section again. Maybe just add a macro to this one too, so we can fade in and out the additional synth sounds to make them more profound sometimes. So we drag the second macro here to the filter cutoff. So that's a very simple and quick workflow to create this quite a complex sounding sound. Let's save that again. And overwrite the existing file. So at the right side here we have the envelopes, and we've already used this envelope 1 to create a more quick decay for our sound here. But you also have a set of LFOs, and you can see in this sound called Neptune, if you load this one up, you can see that we have more LFOs at our disposal. So as soon as we use one LFO, it will add another LFO to our row here. So let's add this one to the wavetable selection, the morphing of the vital sign here, the oscillator 2. And you can see we have an LFO 8 being added to this little list here. So that's quite some LFOs to work with if you want to create complex sounds. You also have random LFOs here, and different note velocity, lift, octave note, stereo, and randomness, and slide and pressure, if you want to use these MIDI parameters for your modulation. So now if you go to our modulation matrix, we can see that we have 7 LFOs controlling different things here, the oscillator levels, etc. And for this patch, I'm just using 3 different oscillators. We have one set an octave above the root note. If I just disable all these, and yeah, we can listen to the first oscillator first. It's just a simple sine wave, the vital sine, which is fading in volume here with this LFO. For the second sound, we also have the vital sine being modulated with this LFO 7. And then our third sound is also a triangle, which is an octave above, and with a little bit of detuning here. And you can see I only have one unison voice for each of these. And then we have a sampler here at the bottom. playing this kind of noisy street sound of something. And all these together makes up this sound. So let's look at the different filters available here. We have a 12 dB analog, 24 dB, some notch blend, notch spread, a dirty filter, ladder filters, digital filters, some diode formant filters, if you want to. If you want to create more vocalist sounds, and a comb filter. And a phaser also, so we have some really nice filters in here. Right, so let's initialize the preset again. So we have just a simple sawtooth. Let's go ahead here and add some Unison. And see how the Unison works. We have the Unison blend and can control the width of the Unison. And we can also set different stacking modes here to be octave or second octave. As I mentioned earlier, it's also great to use the chorus effect as an alternative to adding unison voices. Right, so in conclusion, I think that Vital is a really nice synth. If you buy the full version, you get more presets and more wavetables, obviously. But, I mean, it's a great effect section in the synth, the wavetable capabilities and spectral morphing, and that you can import your own samples is really, really great. And, I mean, the oscillator effects and the phasing effects like FM modulation sounds really nice. It's so easy to add macros. So what do you think? Is this a new serum killer? Please let me know in the comments. Right, so if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the like and that notification bell so that you get a notice when I release new videos. My name is Mattias and now you can continue and watch my next episode. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out my website, morningdewmedia.com. There should be a link down here. Anyways, see you in the next video. Have a great week. Bye.